Greetings, my fellow constructors. Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to RimWorld Biotech, the first Wendigo, episode 138, Empowered. Oh yeah, Shield died. The people that were related to Shield is going to have a problem with that. Maybe another mech chip? I don't know if I would even consider going after another mech layer. I don't think it's necessary. Personally, I don't use the mechs enough that it would be worth it, in my opinion. Wendy is a Mechanitor, and she's not even using her chip at all. She hasn't had bandwidth used yet, like for weeks on end, because she gets by without it. Oh, here comes the traders. It's not a bad idea from like a RimWorld min-maxing standpoint. Oh, and a extra trader for Minolar. But in terms of like the lore and goals of the series, if adding additional support for mechs is not a, it's not free. You know what I mean? So if I expanded the mechs, I would need to justify it in some way, and there just isn't. We just don't need them. They're just not serving really a purpose anymore. Wendy is strong enough to defend the colony without them. So, and she's definitely a min-maxer. So if they don't really serve a purpose anymore, why have them? Would be her argument. They just take up room and resources. And room and resources that she would better put to more efficient use elsewhere. That's Wendy's way of thinking. Definitely buying my components, though. Oh, yes. They have any good jeans? Nope. They'll buy the tattered clothing. So this is one that I need to gift. My rep with them is not that great. So these small stacks of meat I'll gift. I might gift the bearskin too. I don't really see a use of bearskin if I already have thrombo fur. I'm sure I'll run out of thrombo fur and then regret that, but that won't be for a while. Are all my thrombo pants tattered? I have a hard time believing that, so I don't want to gift them if they're not. But I'm going to gift the fur ones. The heavy fur, because it seems like we're phasing that out. That's a pretty good gift. That will keep them happy. For a long time. And then I need to get out to the Shaman Merchant. And exotic goods. And pray that they have shock lances. Because I would love to be able to raid for more prisoners. But I'm only really going to be able to do that if I have the shock lances to make it worth my trip, because otherwise anyone that would want to try to capture is quite likely to just die, given how strong our guns are. And I'm not going to dumb down our guns. Oh, grizzly bears. Yeah, I don't want to show up with weaker weapons just for the sake of trying to knock people out. It's kind of not Wendy's way. She's vicious. Grizzlies. Ryzet was in the process of hauling components. No, I actually just joined the Grizzly Killers. Jack will haul the components. More nurturamine? I have 83 right now, and we have a decent amount of medicine, but maybe. Val became an adult as a jogger. That's really good. A jogging, nimble body purist. You're going to be a really good brawler, I think. So that was Val. Oh, I have 2 Vals. That's going to be really confusing. I think the other Val is probably going to be... Well, no, I don't know what the other Val is going to be. But maybe I'll re-raffle it once it's grown up. Because that is really confusing. You would like to buy a vowel? I'll do more nurturamine. Yeah, make a good argument. They don't come by all that often. It looks like I'm kind of running low on herbal meds. I think the increase in prison population means that I need to plant more herbal meds, so I'll get on that soon. And they do have a shock lance, so I'm in luck. They have a shock and an insanity. Making sure I'm not overlooking anything important. Nope. And that's from Optos. My rep with Optos is really... Ooh, shoot, I didn't mean to do that. My rep with Optos is really not great. But I don't know if there's anything that they're even going to want for me to gift to them that I'd be willing to part with. Maybe... I don't really want to do the plasteel, because I know I'm going to need it in the long run. I could do the eggs. Or gold, because I can always just mine up more gold. I don't know, I'll think about it. What I might end up doing is, if I do a little bit of a run to abduct people with the shock lance that I just got, I can always gift the organs that I get from that. So where is the exotic goods? In my base. The other thing I'm going to do is to hit the Soother, because the moods of my shooters are really bad right now, and I don't want to have mental breaks as I'm hunting grizzlies, especially if I'm hunting grizzlies and Wendy's not part of the hunting party. Psych Stream and Kind Instinct. Super Sensitive would be really nice, and Kind Instinct wouldn't be bad for me to own. I'll buy it. It's potentially good for, like, Bryzit or Mass. And they also have a shock lance, so I got really lucky on the shock lances, at least. Awesome. Industrious. Greedy, careful shooter, and industrious. Well, if you're industrious, maybe you'll be a miner or something. I'll have to figure it out once you're at like 16. So that was Tatty. Is that a door holding up the roof of the mining area? Oh, you know what? It is. That's going to go sploot. Unless we break it down from the edge there. Yeah, let's remove that. Good catch. Now, don't flee from me. Fight. There we go. Come on, get revenge. I got combat shotguns ready for you. Let's get real close here. Just say hi. And now the rest want revenge. That's what Bryzet's here for. Little side-casting crowd control if needed. Yeah, this is the last one. And wow, they die so easy. There. Don't need to remove the roof now. That was a lot easier. Did Bryzet's shield out get up? Oh, still being worked on. Your name is Seedlings? Seedlings the Evangelist. Seedlings. Please donate to the Church of Seedlings, where your seed money will get returned to you. Gonna have to find invisibility for Bryzet now? Yeah, that'd be a good one to have. Little manna from heaven. Or berries from space. I'm going to start having the 5th farm be pure heal root. Because I see that the heal root amount that we have from all the IVF surgeries is definitely running low. And a whole lot of breeding needs to be done too. We have tons of eggs just waiting there, but I kind of want to focus on the battery project. So Wendy is going to get off of her throne and work on that. The gene scanning of the genie, the hussar, and the sanguiphage are all coming. Sounds like Lion Witch in the wardrobe, but yeah, they're getting there. It's not too much further yet. Now, the one thing I'm going to have to rely on you guys for is once I have the giant battery backups, anytime I have a brownout, you're going to have to remind me to turn off the batteries once the brownout's done, or our electrical feedback events are going to be enormous. And as funny as it will be to have an enormous fire for feedbacks, that is really dangerous to tender-skinned Wendy. Don't really want her to burn like that. Would it be practical to have a power line to the more frequented areas? It would. However, the problem with that is the power line would run through the... I guess I could have two lines, but the power line would run through the kill box, and because it would subsequently run through the kill box, it could be severed by a raider pretty easily. The alternative is to run a line, like, around the edge, like this, and have it run all the way to a more frequented area, and just have it just be a long run that eventually terminates closer to the inside of the base as like a weird super long cable. I could do that, but I'm only going to do that if this run becomes annoying or an issue. Yeah, I'll add fire foam in here too. I'm not going to go out of my way to fix a problem that isn't really a problem yet. So much steel. You know what I just realized? She was never put on egg farming. The one that we aged up and converted and enslaved, or not converted, but enslaved. Gotta get a little update of the home zone. I just realized. Trying to prevent the cleaner bots from having to clean up just pathing. Yeah, it's not like I don't have a lack of steel. It's the hauling. It's how long it takes to like haul the steel into place, which is annoying. But it's still a really nice project. If we ever have an eclipse, we have a solution for it. Solar flare. And here's exactly what happens to the solar flare. As soon as the solar flare hits, the band nodes are knocked offline, and the robot goes uncontrolled. I could, in this case, just take control of it with Wendy, because Wendy has spare bandwidth. That's a pretty reasonable solution. But if it's a really long solar flare, it could be a problem. So in this case, Wendy will just take over, so that Bryzit doesn't have to shoulder it. The other thing I could do is finally get rid of Orange Chaos. Because the only reason I need multiple bandwidth nodes is because of Orange Chaos's bandwidth. And we could, I guess, decide that we don't need a tunneler bot anymore, because we have mining slaves. But I'll keep Orange Chaos around for now, at least. With any luck, we'll make some good progress. Oh, what did I just click off? Visitors. With any luck, we'll make some good progress on the battery project. Because of the solar flare, all these smiths have nothing to do but haul now. So the remaining batteries almost have all the steel that they need. It's going to be real soon that all that gets constructed and hooked up. Is there a way to set up a drug policy for prisoners? No. Well, you mean for like automatically feeding the wasters drugs? No, you have to do that manually, as far as I know. But because you asked about it, let me queue up the administration of Yayo. And there we go. The batteries are now connected. There's still two more banks yet to be made, but we have connection. That solar flare killed off every crop I had in the whole colony. Because of course it did. Even hill root? Yep. Everything. It is the big weakness of relying upon hydroponics. When they have power cut to them, the plants die. Nothing could have been done. Just annoying. Oh, you can see we're already super negative power. Due to a mix of the wind turbines, minimum wind, and the fact that the solar flare hit and drained the remainder of our power out. Not worried about it, though. It'll bounce back. Would it be worth putting a work speed node in the hill root farm? Maybe. The problem with those nodes, though, is they don't have a really good way to position themselves to help the whole farm. So as you can see, like, I can cover a little more than half the farm. And if I wanted to cover the whole farm, I'd have to break down at least two of the benches, right? Because otherwise it's just not covering it all. So the reason I did it here is I just happen to have a hole in the wall, like, in the right spot. No, it's worth asking. The other thing I could do, and maybe because all these benches are offline right now, I'll do it now, is move the heel root here, covered by the mech booster, and then have this as rice. Because we spend the most time sowing heel root, because it's the most labor intensive to sow. So, that'll work. Just move them where the heel root's sown. Well, the battery banks are definitely not full, but at least they're made. The concept is near completion. Just not its functionality. Good wind, they should fill up pretty fast. True. Now I'm 26,000 watts over capacity here. If we had a grid or a graph of tracking the power, it pretty wildly goes up and down. So it's really nice to finally have something that acts as sort of a power sink to stabilize. More plasteel. Also, I think that sucks. There was a Glitterworld Empire orbital trader that arrived during the solar flare, so I never got the notification that it was here, and then it left just now. Not that I would have known it was here in the first place, but man, that's annoying. Oh, really, Wendy? I expect more out of you. She came over just to build one concrete and then leave. That was my one slave trader? Maybe. Maybe. I'm rather surprised that we're going through this much locust armor. I think it's just because our locust armor is like at 92%, not 95. It's just a backup of a backup. So here's the Fireflow Popper. Wind is spinning pretty hard, so these batteries are 49,000 watts overpowered. How hard is it to get into the vanilla version of the game? It's actually a really easy game to just sort of pick up and play. What's difficult is if you want to ramp up the difficulty. So playing on an easier difficulty, the game will scale to your wealth, your progress, your difficulty, and it scales pretty well. So it's not a hard game to get into. It's a very difficult game to master, however. And that's something that you know, you're not likely to be able to do for a lot of hours, depending on how quick you learn new games. Or ever, you know. One can make the argument that no one is a true master of RimWorld. There's just too many uncontrollable factors to ever be like, oh, I've mastered it, right? I would say even the grandmasters of like chess are like, oh yeah, there's still more I could learn. And that's not just being modest, it's the complexity of the game. It means that there's always room for improvement. Alright, the eggs are starting to stack up, so let's do a breed. What male is underrepresented? And I'm just going to use them across the board. So does Jack have any children? Jack is a Rurif cross, though, so that's a bit of a problem. You know, maybe I'll have Banish take a crack at it, being our genetic loser here. Pop Banish open, and I'm just gonna have Banish seed everything. I'm not even gonna... Very little science. So here's the genes up top. And anyone that's related to Banish is not gonna have eggs fertilized, but if they're not related to Banish, have at it, and we'll just see what we get. This is the shotgun approach to genetics here. So I think Banish won't be able to fertilize Rurif's egg, but that's probably the only egg that is forbidden. And even then, it might be fine. It's a chance of inbreeding. Hey, Y-Stamp, thank you for the sub. Oh, Banish. I don't think that's the right liquid to fertilize the egg. That's puke. Oh, and that was stripping. And puke again. This is turning into something weird. So, not viable. Viable but weird. It's an impid that can spew fire but no horns. And is also cold tolerant. Very strange. I'm not keeping it, but it's very strange. Non-viable. Non-viable. I don't even... Is this the egg? Non-viable. Non-viable. I don't even know which one that was. This, maybe? I've not seen anything viable come out of this, other than this one, and I'm not keeping this one, because it's not really imped. Has no horns. Alright, down here. Non-viable. And non-viable. No, that's pointer. Non-viable. Not doing well, dude. But, I'll still have you keep going. Nope. Nope. Which is too bad. I like this egg, but it doesn't have the fur skin. Nope. I like this egg too. I like this egg a lot because it has the dull and sensitivity. It comes with awful mining, but no fur skin. Non-viable. 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 Wow, dude, you're just. I'm gonna have to end your gene line. Non-viable. Banish. Banish, banish, banish. You are just a disappointment. I'm letting you fertilize the entire world, and you're coming up with a bunch of losers. Okay, so that was his last attempt, because stickiest's a relative. So I'll check those last eggs, put them back in the casket. Non-viable. 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 Viable? Fast wound healing, cold tolerant, robust, reduce pain. So this is a 4. Doesn't have strong melee damage though. So I'm not keeping it. Fast wound healing, cold tolerant, strong melee damage, robust, reduce pain. This is not only viable, I'm keeping it. This is a good brawler. And it doesn't have the slow walking and slow learning. So we got one, Banish. It was like your last one. It was what, this egg? Yep. Oh, this should be allowed for bunker. There might be an egg under there that I didn't check. I'll double check that I didn't skip one. So this is viable, but I don't want it. This is non-viable. This is non-viable. This is viable, but I don't want it. This is non-viable. This is non-viable. And this is viable, but I don't want it. Okay, yeah, so I didn't skip one. This was the close, and then the other one was even better. Well, 1 out of, I don't know, like 26. And then stickiest, you are an impid hybrid. Yeah, you're an impid hybrid. I should breed you with someone with strong melee damage. Guero, it's going to be you, even though you're a relative. Actually, how close are you as a relative? Non? You're not a relative. Okay, good. He was too exhausted to screw up that last egg. Yeah, well, I mean, I'll take it. I'll take his exhaustion. Works for me. All right, Guero. Your only task is 1 egg. Robot became a child. You're going to remain a colonist. The backup grid is just about done. The batteries aren't topped up, but I'm almost ready to take that off the list. And then the geothermal generator hasn't even been started, so that is still TBD. Well, it's just a fast wound healer. So yeah, the loser egg, I'm not using it. It did lose the trait I wanted to ditch, which is the weak melee damage, but it didn't pick up strong melee damage or anything like that, so. Oh well. Attempts were made. May have failed, but they were still attempted. At least it wasn't a loser, Guero. You can pat yourself on the back there. It was a viable egg. I just didn't want it. So it wasn't a true fail. It was just not a true win either. Yeah, Stickiest, your streak continues of loser offspring. Keep in mind, I have openly mentioned that at some point, to clear out space for winners, I will call the losers. So if you keep breeding losers, your gene line might end. I might end up just killing you off for space for someone worth more. So keep running the losers there. Val, you will. Hold on. Is it this Val? Became a child? Yes. Alright, you will remain a colonist. Got a few Vals here. Hard to keep track of who's who. Death would be released? A release? Yeah, it would. Yeah, you don't have any kids yet, do you? Okay, that looks like a really nice power room, I think. Just waiting on the geothermal generator to be built, and that's probably all the time I'm going to have. So I will end having both expanded the power grid and the battery backups. That's a lot of power to be discharged. It's what, 9,600 watts of power ready to just drop once they're all charged up. I don't think that's really going to, like, stop me from browning out, but at least will buy me a little bit of time to be able to shut non-essentials down, which is still helpful. And I'm recycling ooh, Masterwork Locust Armor. I'm recycling the old Mech clusters here for whatever materials, like plasteel, I'll be able to find off them. Most of the plasteel, or all the plasteel's been hauled in. That's excellent. I'm going to turn the switch off once they're full, because this single wind turbine is not going to fill 16 batteries all that effectively. So once they're almost full, so I'll queue this up to be clicked. Oh, Wendy queue that up? That's fine, I guess. A little beneath her station. Free became an adult. Careful. Why are you getting careful shooter? I guess if you're a brawler, it doesn't really matter if you're a careful shooter. Not going to hurt much. And we have another Manhunter pack of rhinos. Really? I say really because it's quite cold here. I think what I'm going to do, because at this point, don't really have a use for more War Queens. No, I don't know. I guess I do, because I could do more remote repair, remote shield. Here we go. So Apocryton would allow me to either make more waste pack atomizers, or to make, what are they called? The repair probe, which is like a automatic remote repair, which is actually pretty powerful. The War Queen would allow me to make more remote shielders or remote repairers, and then the Diabolist would allow me to make gestation processors, which only Wendy needs. Wendy has no gestation processors, but she's not really in charge of any. And everybody get inside, because we're going to try to pit these rhinos against mechs, because that's my jam. I don't know if Kish is going to make it inside, so Wendy's going to go help Kish while I wall up my doors. Oh, the annoying thing about walling up the doors here is I have to, because of the way I'm going to need to move this wall so the geothermal generator is not blocking. Because when I wall up the doors here, I lose access to a lot of stuff. Alright, as far as I know, everybody's inside now. Looks like you guys want an Apocryton. Let's get a dish. And I want to do this as fast as I can because rhinos are not... They don't handle the cold of this map tile very well. So if I sleep on this... You know, if I don't rush, what ends up happening is the rhinos will just freeze to death, and then I won't be able to use them to kill an Apocryton. Do you guys see a spare slave collar? Game says I have one. Oh, there it is. Yep. This is one Apocryton and one Diabolus with some Scythers. Seems very easy. Maybe the latest RimWorld update, like, updated the mech bosses, because I had much harder Apocrytons than that. So I don't know why it's giving me layup Apocrytons to kill. I don't get it, but it's okay. Make a shelf for just spare slave stuff? Maybe at some point I'll do it. Aw, good job, Mass. Built yourself on the wrong side of the wall. So here comes the Apocryton. Easy peasy, perfect timing. Wall this up. And then Kish is about to wall that up, and that will trigger all the rhinos to go attack said Apocryton. Maybe the reset... yeah, I don't know whether the update... The latest update reset the difficulty of the recurring robo-bosses, but... All I know is it seems a might bit easier than it used to be. Alright, so if it says no path, I have walled it up proper. So the rhinos should path to the Apocryton and kill it. I don't know what these rhinos are doing, though. This, I don't really understand, because I don't have any valid targets down here for them to fight. But yet they're coming down here anyway. Yeah, these rhinos are just dumb. I think what they did was they were pathing to this door before that door got walled up. And they will repath. But even a fraction of the rhinos are doing a pretty good job wasting the Apocryton's charges here. Wait, weren't you just resting? Why are you resting again? Oh, you're needing medicine for your sensory mechanites. So the first batch of rhinos lost. That doesn't surprise me. Diabolus is pack a big punch. But the second set of rhinos, which is really strange. I'm actually going to have to do this with Wendy myself. They are not registering that this door is walled. Oh, no, now they are. They finally repathed. Because I don't want them hanging around this wall here, knowing that the Diabolus is coming down, because what will end up happening is the Diabolus will punch a hole into my own wall. And that would be really annoying, because I would have a breach. Here's the second fight. My guess is the Apocalypse dies and everything gets stunned, and then the rhinos steamroll the Diabolus. That's my prediction here. And it looks guaranteed at this point. Wow, that Diabolus missed everyone. Alright, Apocalypse died. And the Diabolus is getting stomped. Prediction fulfilled. And now the weird clipping thing of the geothermal generator has been resolved for the future. The last thing I want to do is, before I end the stream, this is technically behind my walls, and I would really like to get this built, because this is the other part of the linchpin of the goal up top. So the rhinos have won. Calling in another mech boss is on about a 3-day cooldown, so it's not like I can pit these rhinos against another target. Which means I'm just going to destroy the slate wall door blockers that I have here, because they've served their purpose. And we have a gestation signal chip and a nanostructuring chip out there ready to go for special future delivery. Yep, I'm going to do exactly that. I'm just going to let them freeze, and then whoever is edible will become food for my prisoners. That is the way of Wendy. Let them freeze. It's actually pretty warm right now as far as like the winters on my, or the springs on my map tile go. It's only -12. And they are okay to -8. So they may become hypothermic. But they might just hang around and you know, not freeze like that. Nice. So the batteries are... This is done. This battery backup is totally ready to go. 9,600 watts. Sitting in the wings when I need it. And yeah, the switch is already flicked. See that as a question. So Wendy is working on the geothermal Jenny, hauling some of the last of the resources over. Yep, all the steel has been delivered, so she's going to grab a lavish meal and then treat herself to, I believe, the last steam geyser on the map. I don't think that there's any other steam geysers, at least not ones I know about. It used to be, way back in the day, and I think this has changed, correct me if I'm wrong, but way back in the day, it used to be that steam geysers could... be created in mountains, like under stone, and I don't think the map generates that way anymore. So it used to be that you could actually dig into the mountains and find steam geysers that were like deep in overhead mountain tiles and whatnot, and I don't think that's the case. So I think once you've found all the overland steam geysers, you found them all. Now it is possible that there's like a part of the map that I've not yet revealed in this mountain, but I don't think it's going to be big enough to host a steam geyser, or at least the chances are very, very slim that would be the case. The amount of batteries on the grid at the same time are 4, and you know what, I could double that and stick a fire foam popper there. Let me think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 6 times 8, 48. So 5,000 watt explosion. Yeah, that's okay. I just don't want a 9,000 watt explosion. No, I don't even really need it. I will build a firefoam popper, but I don't think I need the extra batteries. Especially with a increasing wind grid, which should help a bit. Oh god, are you zone restricted? For a second I had my stomach lurch and I was like, is someone about to walk it out and open up the door for all the rhinos? Because that would be pretty fatal. Well, friends, I think that finishes the priority. So my next goal is going to be vote for priority, and that's not for this week. That is for next week, because that about wraps up this stream. Thank you for tuning in to RimWorld, the first Wendigo, which originally streamed live on Twitch April 2nd. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you'd like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you'd like to join my gaming community, Rhadamant.com also has a link to Discord, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching, and a special thank you to my Patreon patrons, Twitch subscribers, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. Hope to catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow Wendigos.